Hey, what is up, Flav City family? It's Bobby, and today I'm gonna show you my favorite kitchen tips to make you a meal prepping rock star in the kitchen. And there's a lot of recipes and videos and blog posts out there that tell you really lame stuff, like write a shopping list before you go to the grocery store so you don't get stressed out, and to spend 2 hours on Sunday prepping for the week. Yeah, around here we call that common sense. These are gonna be actionable ideas and tips that will get you in the kitchen and make you a better cook. So before we start, hook me up, subscribe to our channel, because every week, twice a week now, we are rocking out new recipe videos and fun other videos, and we would love for you to join the Flav City community. All right, the first one is my most favorite one, the kitchen tools you need to have in the kitchen to rock hard. Number one, cast iron pan. You guys see me do it all the time. I cook protein in the cast iron pan because nothing sears, nothing distributes the heat quite like cast iron. I have a French cast iron that is beautiful and costs $150, or I have a good old America cast iron pan that costs $39 on Amazon. Either one works fine. I have a large non-stick pan. You can't cook everything in a cast iron pan. Eggs tend to stick, shrimp and seafood are tough to do it, so buy a 14-inch non-stick and you're good to go. I used two kinds of cutting boards in this house. I used a plastic cutting board for meats and raw proteins, a large wooden cutting board for chopping and mowing down all my vegetables for prep work. I notice when you watch a lot of Food Network and cooking competitions now, they cut the raw meat and the raw seafood on wood. Completely unacceptable. Wood will soak up that bacteria. It'll make you sick later on. One for raw, one for veggies, you're good to go. I have two kinds of knives here. I have an 8-inch chef's knife that's expensive, about $200 to $250, and I have an 8-inch chef's knife that is about $20. They're both gonna do the same thing. These are my toys. I want cheap ones, I want expensive ones. You will do 90% of your cutting with an 8-inch chef's knife. Don't bother getting small ones, just get the 8-inch kind. Probably my most favorite, the microplane zester. We grate lemons, oranges, limes. We grate Parmesan and Pecorino Romano because it creates this snow shower of cheese that just falls on the food, and it's so darn good. Finally, we always have a splatter guard to put over the pan when we're cooking so the oil doesn't go everywhere. Since I zest, I also juice a ton of citrus. I am old school. I have a color-coded citrus juicer for each one now, but now they make combination ones so you can just get one. And because I don't like to overcook my protein, I have a timer with a thermometer that plugs into it. You put it in the oven while it's cooking and you never overcook your food again. I know it's a lot of stuff. I'll put all the Amazon links down in the description box because you need this stuff. Number two is making your life easier during meal prepping by buying ingredients you can use for many different recipes. Don't buy one-off ingredients or crazy exotic ingredients you're gonna use it once. I have a recipe and a video for 5 healthy meal prep recipes using the same 10 fresh ingredients. Those ingredients are boneless, skinless chicken thighs, low-carb shirataki noodles, garlic, onions, eggs, kale, red peppers, parsley, French green beans or haricots verts, and tomatoes. And we use the green beans and the red bell peppers many different ways in almost every recipe. So check out that meal prep and recipe down below in the description box and keep things simple and make it easy on yourself. Now, if you're gonna meal prep like a boss, you have to, I repeat, have to have a stocked pantry to the gills. The reason you have to do this is because you wanna have salts, spices, and vinegars and condiments on hand to make your meal prep flavor next level. So when I pull out the top drawer here, I have different kinds of salt. I have kosher salt for cooking. I have sea salt for finishing. I have Trader Joe's pink salt for finishing. Then I have my favorite extra virgin olive oils here. So you guys know I'm an EVOO fanatic. I'm part of a club called the Olive Oil Club that sends the best oils from around the world to my house every quarter. They hook me up with a promo code. You guys can get a bottle for $1. I'll leave that down below, but olive oil is life. Now, one layer below that is my spice rack. We all know I love spice rubs, and I always have smoked paprika in there. I have cayenne, cloves, cumin. Desi gets these cute little spice containers. You can just kind of twist them, and they can shake out or sprinkle out, and you can see what's through them. They're very cool, so always have spices there. Down on the bottom rack, because it's the heaviest rack, I have all of my vinegars and condiments. So you can see I have rice wine vinegar, I have white vinegar, I have balsamic vinegar. Then I have condiments like soy sauce, or if you're doing keto, coconut aminos. I have agave nectar, I have sriracha, I have maple syrup. Because I have all of these things, I can literally create any kind of meal I want with fresh produce in my refrigerators, frozen stuff in the freezer, and then in my pantry on the other side of the kitchen, I have quinoa, rice, beans, and hemp hearts and all that good stuff. Meal prepping tip number 4 is to stock the old freezer. My favorite meal prepping items to stash in the freezer are frozen corn, frozen peas, edamame, frozen spinach I love, but my number 1 favorite and relatively new discovery for meal prepping is frozen cooked organic brown rice. They have it everywhere. I get it at Trader Joe's, and it makes your life so darn easy because you don't have to spend 45 minutes making brown rice. It's done for you. You chuck it in a pan with some water or some chicken stock, and it's done, and the texture is perfectly al dente. If there's one thing you need to get, it's frozen cooked organic brown rice, and chuck it in the old chill chest. Number 5 is buying in bulk. I love the Costco here in Chicago. The free samples are obviously amazing, but I stock up on stuff you might not realize you can use for meal prepping. People think they don't want to buy at Costco because it's all perishable and it's going to go bad. I don't buy those items. I buy my avocado oil there, my olive oil there. I buy the nuts there, the big packets of nuts. They are the best price ever, and just store them in the fridge so they don't go rancid. I don't want to give you my whole list because very, very soon I'm doing a meal prepping Costco haul with like 10 of my favorite and 5 items to stay away from at Costco, but buy in bulk, buy stuff that doesn't go bad, and do it often. Tip number 6 is storage. We only use glass meal prepping containers in this kitchen. I know they're a little more expensive, but they're very, very safe to use and they don't leach any chemicals into the food. I don't care what the Amazon description says about plastic containers being BPA free or safe. We don't trust that, okay? Anytime you put those in an oven or a microwave, I can guarantee something is getting transferred to the food. Glass is heavy, glass can break, but it's very safe and will never ever contaminate your food. In addition to the containers, we also use glass mason jars for sauces and salads and stuff like that, and mixing bowls, glass mixing bowls that have lids for storage. Now, a big question you guys have is about storage. I always put the storage instructions on the recipe that lives on flavcity.com. In general, almost all meal preps, and my meal preps in particular, will last 5 days in the fridge. I always have a few people who say, can chicken really stay 5 days in the fridge? Yes, I do it almost every week. It's delicious. You can also freeze most items for 2 to 3 months. If you make a salad, keep the salad and the dressing separate. Anything you think might get kind of too liquidy, too saucy, or too wilted, store the salad or the dressing separate from the ingredient, and never freeze certain vegetables like rice cauliflower or like spaghetti squash. After they're cooked and you freeze them, ice crystals form in the cells. The crystals then puncture the cell walls. So when you defrost them, it gets really soft and soggy because there's no more texture. I just kind of channeled my inner Alton Brown for that one, but take my advice. Certain vegetables like that are not good for freezing. We just talked about storing meal prep, so tip number 8 is about reheating meal prep. There's a couple ways you can go about this. My favorite way to reheat meal prep is in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 to 10 minutes. I realize that not everyone can do that because you take your meal prep to work or to school. So if you're using a microwave, follow these instructions exactly. Cover the meal prep container with a wet paper cloth and make sure not to overheat it. If you do overheat it, your food is gonna go dry every single time, and the wet paper towel will add some more moisture. There is something called the Hot Logic Mini. It's like a portable bag that's insulated and has a little like safe oven inside, and that'll keep your food hot and warm it at work, and I think it's way better than using a microwave. So check that one out. Meal prepping tip number 9 is snacks, snacks, snacks. The biggest time of the day when people fall off of their meal prepping healthy lifestyle is after lunch and in between dinner. It's that gray zone when like you need a little something something and you grab a donut or a Twinkie or God knows what. Make healthy meal prepping snacks. Desi and I have so many that will hook you up. We have a keto low carb cheesy cauliflower tot recipe that is the bomb. Desi has a recipe for low-carb keto biscotti with chocolate sauce. She also has a recipe for quinoa power muffins that are so hearty and will hold you over. I have a recipe for buffalo cauliflower bites with sriracha dipping sauce, so meal prep snacks now and you will thank me later on. And finally, meal prepping tip number 10 is calculating the macros. I always hook you up by taking a lot of time out of my day to calculate the macros because I think it's really important to do so. There's 3 sites that I use to do that. There's myfitnesspal.com, which I wouldn't rely 100% on that site because I often find that it's incorrect. In addition to that, I use something called factsecret.com and nutritiondata.self.com. You really have to put in the work to cross-reference macros because they're not always right. So either do it yourself or rely on me, but you have to know the amount of calories, fats, and carbs you are eating. Bonus number 11, if you need meal prep inspiration or you ever get tired or in a rut, go to flavcity.com. All the recipes you see on the YouTube channel live on flavcity.com. Desi and I spent 3 months this year rebuilding the site to make it the best user experience and the best meal prepping site online. It's a community. If you want to see new recipes or have ideas or questions, shoot us a message, but head over there and check them out. All right, guys, that is it. 10 legit, real tips for making you a meal prepping boss in the kitchen. Hook us up, subscribe to our channel, share this video. If you want to see 2 of my favorite meal prepping recipes, it is streaming below me right now, but I will see you very soon. Until then, #keep on cooking. Peace.